fine day.
Aye, no bad.
You work in Dundee.
Aye, doing at the docks.
Things are a bit difficult just now, aren't they?
That.
How much Chip Indian cloth coming in and starting to work for the Dundee mould?
Dundee practically exists on jute, doesn't it?
Aye, there's about 100,000 people out of 180,000 make their living by it one way or another.
Is there a jute liner over there?
Aye, that'll be the Mangalore. I wear gunnies for Calcutta.
Gunnies? What's gunnies?
Gunnies is Indian manufactured jute cloth, mister.
Oh, the stuff that's undercutting you. Rather a sad end to a story of 100 years of development.
To what?
Well, jute made Dundee, didn't it? I mean, the importance of Dundee dates back to the middle of the last century when jute was first spun.
Listen, James, the man thinks Dundee's just 100 year old. Good old misty man. You know, Ken, that it was at Dundee that Robert the Bruce signed all the land. Have you never heard the clever hoot? Bonnie Dundee, they called him. But you think Dundee was a wee clockin' when General Monk sacked it?
Yes, but what I meant was that Dundee has only been really important for the last 100 years, since the coming of jute.
And how did jute come? Can you answer me that? Man, Dundee has been a great borough for as long as Scotland has been Scotland. To get an idea of Dundee, you must look for its roots in the shape of Scotland. You must go way back in time, to the Middle Ages.
Scotland, a country of mountain and water, of rivers rushing a few miles headlong down to the sea.
Yet in the west, in the Grampians, is the source of one great river,
Tumbling eastwards past Killin,
past the Birks of Aberfeldy.
into the rich farmlands of Perth, a broad, strong river, the Tay.
This is the longest river of Scotland.
Since first the Scots launched boats into the sea, the Tay estuary has been the finest of the few natural harbours between Buchan-Ness and St. Abb's Head. Where there is a fine harbour, a seafaring people will build a city. On this estuary, at the first sheltered day to landward of the bar, there grew up the city of Dundee. Because of the sea, Dundee was built, and in the Middle Ages the Dundee merchants turned their eyes seaward. They took wool from the mountains and plaids that had been woven in the city across the German Ocean, and brought back with them timber from the Baltic for the ships, and fine cloth from the Low Countries, and hemp and flax even to linen and into canvas and cordage for the ships. For centuries, this was Dundee, the centre of a great region and the second city of Scotland.
The weaver's art, it is most fine. Among other arts, it is the prime. Ever since the great fall, I was, and is renowned so. Nor rich, nor poor without it go, while on this earthly bowl. How very needful is the work of the poor weaver's thread. Through all our lives, which is but short, 'tis decent to be clad. Our clothing, sure clothing, is needful as our food. Since sin came, fine linen's an emblem of all good.
Coal across the Tay and Fife. Coal gives steam, and steam gives power for engines to drive the looms of Dundee. The power looms will weave millions of yards of cloth where only hundreds were woven before.
I mind my grandfather telling me who the first spun raw jute fibre and wove it into cloth. It was 3 years after the old queen came to the throne that the first cargy of the stuff come stretched to Calcutta. They'd been trying to spin it for near 50 years, but it was brittle, they said, and only why it stunk, and it stinks yet. But jute was cheap, and they kept on trying, and in the end they iled it afore drawing it out, and they found it spun great that way. That was the sorcerers. They'd found the cheapest fibre they'd ever heard tell of. It wasn't good to look at, and it wasn't our strong, that they wove it thick into hessians and sackcloth, and then they were making the best coarse wrappers in the world. Then we started to face the Russians, and the flax for the Baltic stopped coming to Dundee, so they turned ours to jute.
Every spindle and loom that was idle they put on jute. They took the spindles off flax and put them on jute. Jute for bags and jute for sacks, jute for hessians and pack sheets and tarpaulins, jute for twines and strings, jute for cords and the wrappings of cables.
1840, population 50,000.
Jute for carpets, roof felts and mattress covers.
1853, 15,000 tons of raw jute imported.
Jute to do the navvy work for tailors and upholsterers.
1860, population 100,000.
Jute for neat wrappers and damp course foundations.
1873, 153,000 tons of raw jute imported.
Jute for satchels and tool bags and chair canvas.
1878, population 150,000.
All this made out of jute. Dirty, brittle jute that they thought would never spin.
Aye, man, it's a great city. The commercial centre for all eastern Scotland. Jute was just a natural development.
Yes, but you've told me yourselves how jute dominated everything. What else is there?
Geez, would you believe it? He's off again.
Hey, do you see Bourne Bridge?
Yes.
Well, they didn't build the Tay Bridge just for jute.
They built that bridge to link Dundee with the south. They built it because we needed the coal from Fife and to give us access to the markets.
And that's not the first bridge, mind.
They opened the first bridge in 1878. It stood for just over a year. Then one wild night in December of 1879,
At 7:13 p.m., I handed the staff over to a driver of a northbound train from Bunt Island to Dundee, thus giving him a clear road across the bridge. From the signal box, I saw the train enter the girder. Then I seemed to see a flash of fire from the wheels, as if the brakes had been applied. Feeling that something was wrong, I tried to telegraph through to the north side, but the wire was dead.
on the north side at Dundee Taybridge Station, we began to be anxious, for the train was now nearly half an hour overdue. Neither of the telegraph instruments would work to the Taybridge South box, but at 10 o'clock, a man came in from Bratty Ferry, saying that a mail bag had been washed up there. This was the first intimation we had that the train was in the water. It was not till next morning that we saw the full extent of the damage to the bridge. Of the train, there was no sign.
The train had plunged to the bottom of the river, and over 70 people were drowned. But next year, the North British Railway Company began to build again. They built for safety beyond a doubt. And they built the great cantilever bridge over Forth as well, so that Aberdeen and Dundee were now joined up with Edinburgh and the south. From Dundee to Edinburgh, around the two rivers, by Perth and Stirling,